Do believe that Dylan has got to find some rhythm in the passing game. You cannot try to rely on Quinshon Judkins to run the ball all the time because the Steelers are too good against the run, and they will do nothing but stack that box. So he's got to find some rhythm in the passing game, and probably it's going to have to be more so the short passing game and some things over the middle. So I would really be trying to exploit the connection that he developed last week with David Njoku. That needs to continue, and David traditionally has had some really good games against the Steelers. So they're going to have to try to work on that. And then also Harold Fannin. I think both of the tight ends can be instrumental in helping the Browns win this football game. Now, Harold caught 4 of 4 last week, but for only 13 yards. So they need to get him revved up and going a little bit. And then also, he's got to find a way.
Don't skip a single second of this video. And if this story touches your heart, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments. Where are you watching from? Let's begin. I don't care how long you've been covering the NFL, you don't get to spend months trashing a player, dragging his name through the mud, and then suddenly flip the script like it never happened. That's exactly what just went down in Cleveland, and every fan can see the hypocrisy from a mile away. Mary Kay Cabot, the so-called insider with decades on the Browns beat, tried to rewrite her own story in real time. And let me tell you, it's not working. Because here's the thing, we're not stupid. We saw the tweets. We read the reports. We heard the segments where she laughed at the idea of Shedeur Sanders even being NFL ready. She called him a wasted draft pick. She said Kenny Pickett was better, Joe Flacco was better, Dylan Gabriel was better. Basically, anyone breathing in the quarterback room was better than Shedeur, according to her. She wasn't just skeptical, she was campaigning. It was a full-blown character takedown before the kid even got a real shot. And then, the moment things start crumbling for Cleveland, the moment Gabriel looks lost and the offense can't move the ball, suddenly Shedeur's elite accuracy is on display. Suddenly, the same reporter who told us he didn't belong is out here praising his arm angles, his ball placement, his touch. Suddenly, she's comparing him to Josh Allen. Do you realize how wild that is? Shedeur didn't magically become accurate overnight. He didn't just wake up one morning with NFL-level precision. He's been that guy. From Jackson State to Colorado to the very first day of training camp in Berea, he's been that guy. What changed wasn't Shedeur. What changed was the narrative. And that's what drives me crazy about moments like this. These aren't just bad takes. They're dangerous. Because when the most prominent voice covering the Browns tells the world that a rookie quarterback doesn't belong, front offices hear that. Fans hear that. It creates doubt where there shouldn't be doubt. It lowers patience, it shifts expectations, and it can bury a career before it even begins. Think about it. This is a 21-year-old kid walking into an NFL locker room for the first time, already fighting for reps, already dealing with the weight of being Deion Sanders' son, already under a microscope. And instead of honest coverage, he's getting headlines that say he's not worth the pick, that he doesn't belong. And now when the truth is impossible to deny, the same people who tried to kill the momentum are scrambling to act like they've been in his corner all along. Sorry, but that's not how it works. Fans don't forget. Players don't forget. And the internet definitely doesn't forget. And this isn't just about Mary Kay. This is about a pattern in the NFL. How many times have we seen young quarterbacks get written off before they have even touched the field? How many times has the narrative been set by people who care more about being right than actually telling the truth? This flip-flop in Cleveland isn't just embarrassing. It's proof of how broken the system is. And here's the scary part. If Shedeur wasn't who he is, if he didn't have the poise and the talent to push back against the noise, this narrative could have stuck. His career could have been defined by somebody else's bias, but instead the truth forced its way out. His play, his accuracy, his leadership. It spoke louder than the lies. That's why this moment matters. Because this isn't just a correction. This is exposure. This is the moment fans realize just how much power narratives have over a player's future. And it's the reason Cleveland is now on fire. Because the people who doubted him the hardest are the same people who are going to have to cover him when he saves their season. And trust me, this story is only getting started. Let me slow this down and tell you exactly where Shedeur Sanders really sits in this building. because it isn't on the hype train and it isn't on Twitter. It's in the tape. It's in the rhythm. It's in the way the ball leaves his hand and lands exactly where a pro receiver wants it. Outside shoulder, late hands, defender, beat by placement, not just power. That's the difference. That's why, even after all the noise, I'm telling you, he fits what Cleveland needs right now better than the safe options we've been fed for months. Start with accuracy and touch. Everybody loves to scream arm strength, but accuracy plus timing is the currency of Sunday football. Watch Shedeur in rhythm throws. Hitch, plant, let it go. He layers the out over the flat defender without forcing the receiver to turn into a crash dummy. He'll shave velocity on a shallow cross to keep yards after catch alive. He'll add just enough zip on a glance route to beat safety rotation. That's touch. That's intent. And you can win a lot of games in the AFC North when your quarterback turns 50-50s into 70-30s with ball placement alone. Now stack that against what we've seen. Joe Flacco is a pro's pro, and I respect the resume, but his ball often arrives one way: hot, catchable when you're in stride and clean, punishing when you're late or contested. That's why you saw drops spike in certain stretches, not because guys can't catch, but because the margin for error disappears when every throw is a heater. Dylan Gabriel, he's the classic system caretaker. On script, clean pocket, first read open, fine. But when the picture muddies, the ball drifts, the timing frays, and the offense shrinks into checkdowns and quickouts, that defense is sit on by the second quarter. It's safe on a call sheet and suffocating on the scoreboard. Shedeur adds air back into the room. He plays with calm feet and a quiet mind. You can see it in the pocket. No panic heel clicks. No bailing out the back door at the first hint of color. He resets depth, finds his landmark, and keeps his base. That calm buys an extra beat for a dig to come open, or for Njoku to clear the linebacker on a seam adjust. And here's the part coaches love, even if they won't say it out loud. He throws to the leverage the concept is asking for. If the slant is capped, he'll throw the body away from contact. If the back shoulder is on, he'll drop it where only his guy can toe tap. That's grown man quarterbacking. And yes, I'm frustrated because we wasted months feeding reps to known quantities instead of building an identity around what actually lifts this offense. This line hasn't been pristine. The run game has had to manufacture daylight against stacked looks. That means you need a quarterback who expands the field horizontally with touch and vertically with trust. You need someone who makes average separation look open because the ball is already there. That's Shedeur. Does he have things to prove? Of course, every rookie does. But role and value are not mysteries here. His profile answers Cleveland's questions. Accuracy over chaos, touch over torque, poise over panic. Give him the install tailored to what he does best. Quick game with shot complements, tight end seams, glance, shotgun post-off RPO looks, and watch how the offense breathes. This team still has time. The division is unforgiving, but it isn't closed. Put the ball in the hands of the guy who throws catchable, controllable, winning passes. Put it in Shedeur's hands and let the season find a pulse again. Here's where I've got to get real with you. This isn't just about Cleveland media. This isn't just about Mary Kay Cabot or one reporter backpedaling on a bad take. Notice, this is bigger. This is about the way quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders get judged in this league before they even step on the field. And if you've been watching football as long as I have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Why is it that when a kid comes out of Alabama or Ohio State, the benefit of the doubt is automatic? Why is it that when a guy played at an HBCU like Jackson State, the narrative is skepticism? Shedeur didn't just stumble into that 74% completion rate at Colorado. He didn't just wake up one day and decide to carry a program on his back. He's been elite for years. But the media didn't see it, or maybe they refused to see it. And let's not dance around this. Being Deion Sanders' son cuts both ways. On one hand, it brings headlines, it brings attention. But on the other hand, it piles on expectation and criticism at a level most rookies will never touch. Every throw, every snap, every press conference answer, it all gets framed through the lens of primetime's kid. That's not fair. That's not analysis. That's narrative building. And when you combine that with the already higher standard black quarterbacks are held to, the weight doubles. We've seen this story before. Jalen Hurts wasn't supposed to be that guy. Critics said he was a system quarterback, a runner who couldn't process fast enough. Lamar Jackson, they told him to switch positions. Dak Prescott, fourth rounder, not polished enough, wouldn't last. Time and time again, these guys have to prove not just that they belong, but that they're undeniable. And even when they succeed, there's still a voice waiting to say, yeah, but... So let me ask you this. If Shedeur Sanders has been elite since Jackson State, if he showed it at Colorado, if he's shown it in training camp and preseason, why wasn't that enough? Why did it take Dylan Gabriel sputtering? Why did it take a losing record for the same voices to suddenly flip? That's not evaluation. That's bias, plain and simple. And the damage this does, it's real. Fans start to hesitate. Front offices start to question. Coaches start second-guessing who gets reps and who sits. Careers can be derailed before they ever start because someone decided a player doesn't look like the part. That's the burden Shedeur's carrying right now. It's not just his career on the line. It's the weight of every unfair doubt, every lazy comparison, every he's only here because of his last name whisper. But here's what I respect about Shedeur. He's carrying it. He hasn't lashed out. He hasn't tried to clap back at every headline. He's just putting his head down and letting the football speak for him. And sooner or later, the football drowns out all the noise. The question is, how long do the Browns want to wait before they let that happen? Because every snap they give to somebody else is another chance wasted, another game slipping away, and another reminder that bias still shapes who gets opportunities in this league. And that's why the pressure in Cleveland is about to boil over. Here's the part the media can't fake. The locker room test. Forget the headlines. Forget the tweets. Forget the flip-flop takes from analysts who are chasing engagement. Inside that building, where guys are grinding through camp reps and sweating through August practices, they already know who's real and who's not. And trust me when I say this. Shedeur Sanders has already passed that test. You can see it in training camp clips. The ball leaves his hand different. It doesn't just hit receivers, it guides them. A 5-yard slant? He'll put it low and away so the corner can't undercut. A seam ball to Njoku? He layers it perfectly between the safety and the linebacker. That's why receivers love playing with him. Not because of hype, not because of his last name, but because his ball is catchable. It makes their job easier. And every receiver will tell you, once you've had a quarterback who throws catchable balls, you don't want to go back. The defense notices too. They're not just chasing completions in practice. They're reacting to poise. How many rookies panic when Myles Garrett collapses the edge in drills? Most either bail too early or freeze. Shedeur, he resets his base, keeps his eyes downfield and delivers. That calm under fire is why defenders respect him, even when they're supposed to make him look bad. They know he's not rattled. That matters. In a league where panic ruins more young quarterbacks than pressure ever will, calm is currency. And then you've got the coaches. Coaches love reliability. They want to call a play and know the quarterback is going to execute the read progression the way it was drawn up. Shedeur has already shown them he can do that. He doesn't just wing it. He processes. He checks leverage. He adjusts velocity. That's why when Stefanski and the staff talk about accuracy and ball placement, their tone shifts. They're not guessing. They're describing what they see every day. This is why I keep telling people, the locker room always knows first, before the headlines, before the fan hype, before the national debate. Players know when a guy's different. And with Shedeur, that respect is already in the air. You can't fake that. You can't PR your way into the trust of 30 grown men who are fighting for contracts and careers. You either earn it or you don't. And he's earned it. So here's the truth the outside world is catching up to. When the locker room knows, it's only a matter of time before the coaches follow. And when the coaches finally follow, the rest of the league won't be far behind. Because inside Cleveland, Shedeur Sanders isn't a question mark anymore. He's the answer waiting for his moment. And the players? They're ready for it. You can feel it building. Every incomplete pass from Dylan Gabriel, every stalled drive, every wasted possession. It's all pushing the Browns closer and closer to the decision they've been avoiding. This offense is stuck in neutral, and the longer they try to force it with Gabriel, the more obvious it becomes. Kevin Stefanski's job is on the line, and the clock is ticking. We've seen this story play out before. A coaching staff hitching their future to the safe option, only to watch it collapse when the pressure hits. Gabriel was supposed to be steady. He was supposed to keep the ship afloat. Instead, he's sinking it. He's missing throws you expect an NFL quarterback to hit in his sleep. He's shrinking the field with checkdowns and short outs, turning every possession into a slow death march. That's not how you survive in the AFC North. That's how you get embarrassed. And while the offense sputters, the national media is circling like vultures. Remember Mike Tomlin's jab? The one where he basically said Andrew Berry must be smarter than him for trading away a quarterback to a division rival? That was pure shade. That was one of the most respected coaches in the league clowning the Browns' decision-making in real time, and the national outlets ate it up. Every loss, every highlight reel of Gabriel's misses. It's fuel for the mockery. But here's the thing. Cleveland still has an answer. He's not on the trade wire. He's not on IR. He's standing on the sideline with a helmet in his hand, watching all of this unfold. Shedeur Sanders, the guy who was written off, doubted, dismissed. He's the one who can flip this entire story. And the locker room knows it. The fans feel it. Even the media that buried him are starting to backpedal because they see what's coming. This isn't about one reporter anymore. This isn't about Mary Kay's flip-flop. This is about the Browns' future, about proving that the talent was there all along, and the only mistake was not trusting it sooner. Every great NFL story has that turning point. That one moment where the backup steps in and the entire trajectory of a season changes. And Cleveland is walking straight toward that moment whether they like it or not. So here's my prediction, and I'm standing on it. When Shedeur Sanders gets his shot, and he will, he's not just going to steady this offense, he's going to shock the league. He's going to bring life back into a locker room that's tired of losing. He's going to prove that accuracy, poise, and touch can carve up defenses just as well as arm strength and hype. And when he does, all those voices that said he didn't belong, they'll have no choice but to eat their words because the moment is coming. The only question now is whether Cleveland embraces it in time to save their season or waits until it's already too late.